That's right.
In the back.
Thank you. Got it.
You talked a lot about the learning curve with the new guys coming on the team for spring training. What about for the fans? A lot of them, they're going to come out for spring training and they're not going to recognize a lot of these guys. What's your message for the fans out there?
Just come on out. We're very affable. We like to talk to everybody. We sign autographs. You got to get to know these new guys right now. There's a lot of talent in this camp. And again, there's been a slight exodus, absolutely. But you bring in John, you bring in Manny, you bring in a Kyle. And you combine that with Evan and BJ and Mikey Jasa, all that he did last year. Just like you're talking about, watching this young pitching staff, there's a lot to identify with here, I'd like to believe. I mean, since we've been able to flip this a little bit since 2008, if I'm a local fan, I think there's a lot of guys that you could actually glom onto and enjoy and come out and want to see on a daily basis. We have great people. I really am. I'm very proud to be associated with this group. I'm talking to players and the coaches. I just walked into the room this morning, had that first meeting, and you look around the room and you say, "My goodness, this is the optimal place to work as far as I'm concerned." And you get staff members like that, then a group of players, young, eager, and believe me, they're very like I said, affable. So definitely come on out and visit with us. We'd love to come down and visit our facility here. I still believe it's one of the best going. But this is the Rays. This is who we are. This is how things are going to happen. Come on out and see us for those that want to make a little bit of a trip, because it's a great setting right here. Yes,
excuse me, gentlemen. The perception of the Rays has changed over the last bunch of years because of the success of the franchise. And now, over the winter, there were commercials all over the place with Joe in one playing nationally and Evan playing nationally. How important is that to sort of get the fans more interested, and also on a national level, the recognition that the team really has deserved over the last
It's very nice if they included another one this year somehow. I'm happy to do that. Do you want to answer that question?
No, please.
Okay. No, I do. And again, when I went
to plug one a day.
Yeah, what's 50? Men's 50 plus advantage by one a day. No, I mean, for me, it was a fun gig to do that. It still weirds me out. Like I'll be doing something and the TV will be on in the background, and there comes my voice. But I do look at it from the Rays perspective. I like the idea that I see the Rays out there. I see the Rays. And I feel fortunate that I had that opportunity to do that. Then you see Evan bouncing all over the place doing his thing. And we have become more of a nationally pertinent over the last couple of years. So, and I still believe we're going to continue along those lines. And again, talking about this year compared to the last year, whatever, I know it's easy to speak of our demise at this particular moment. For us, it's a very it's a creative kind of time. We're very eager to get this going again. He and I have been talking a lot since November, just about everything, because as he said, as Andrew had mentioned, we knew that this was going to happen. This is something we had planned on all along. So now you get to the point, you think about it all winter, now here it is, boom, it's showing up. And now you get to put theory with reality and see how it all shakes. So, I'm proud to be able to represent the Rays the way I've been able to do. And of course, I think Evan does a great job. But this season presents a lot of different challenges that I find very, very interesting. And we're definitely ready to meet those challenges.
Joe first, and then Andrew. You've said a couple times the phrase "another way." What do you mean by that?
I'm always.
Yeah, Joe.
Thank you. You look at every year. I'm just trying to think. Obviously, the 9 = 8 from a couple years ago. The different things that we've done this offseason. I'm just pondering once again. And I'm thinking regarding our plight for this year. We have to do it in another way. We have to get back to the playoffs, and it's probably going to require another way. And then if you look at it a little bit more deeply than that, that was a little bit superficial, but more deeply, the Rays way is another way. If we just look at how we've gotten to this particular point over the last couple of years, Andrew's alluded to the creativity with the trading and signing of free agents that we're able to do, the drafting, the development, all that stuff. The ballpark that we play in is kind of different. It's a little bit funky, and in spite of winning a World Series or getting to a World Series, it's still difficult to attract. So there's all these little kind of like flaws about us in the sense that in spite of it, we've still been able to overcome these things to the point where we become rather successful. So coming into this season, why not just choose another way to get back to the playoffs? Minus Carl, minus Carlos, minus Jason, minus Matt, all these different, the bullpen, these very important cogs that we had the last year and the last couple of years. So that speaks to all the little quirkiness about us, I think. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of this quirkiness really reveals the character and the team concept that we play from within. So I could sit here and try to determine or give you examples of another ways, whether it's like last year with the batting average less than 250, but being like fourth or whatever in the league in runs scored. All the different things that we do, our defenses that we take chances on, gambles with 4 outfielders, all these another way concepts that we've tried over the last couple of years. But this year, coming into this season, it was really I wanted to be able to have our players understand we're going to have to do this in another way. We're missing some guys, but also it's your turn. It's your turn to be that guy that everybody's going to miss 4 or 5 years from now and talk about very longingly that all of a sudden he's gone and he was such a great part of 2011, 12, 13, etc. So I think we are the Rays way and another way are almost synonymous terms, and that kind of smacked me in the face this past off season. So going into this year, we're going to have to figure out another way to win, and we're going to do that.
Yeah, to follow up, I think simply said, one of the most important things we have to do is to identify the unique challenges that we face and operate within them, not try to be someone that we're not. And so with that, we have to go about things differently than the teams that we compete against in our division. And we can't operate the same way they do, or we would absolutely finish behind them. We have to do things differently. We have to approach things differently. I think I mentioned this the other day. We've won 2 out of the last 3 American League East, and we've never won a winner in that time period. And it's not about that for us because we can't. But for us, it just puts even more emphasis on roster construction. And for us, it's finding those complementary pieces. It's finding guys that complement one another. And when you look at the sum of the parts, that it equals a 90-plus win team in the American League East, and that's what we're shooting for. And to get there, we have to do it a different way.
Another way.
Another way is even better.
Thank you very much.
Joe, Mark's question actually just made me think before I get to my real one. Is there anything specifically, like last year you were talking about going first to third or getting the man in, that will be the focus of this spring? And then just secondly, a guy like Sean Rodriguez last year had a spring that almost kind of forced you to give him a spot. Is there room for a guy like that, and will you be looking for a guy like that this
First of all, the emphasis of what we've already gone over that this morning. I want us to stay ahead. We got to stay ahead of what we had been doing. What does that mean? I think you're going to see a lot of teams revert more back to the style that we played the last couple of years. I think if you look at what Texas did last year, that's a prime example of a really good team, well-balanced team that all of a sudden started to emphasize other components of the game, and we kind of got beaten with our own stick at the end of last season. So I really think it's imperative that we attempt to stay ahead of what we do. And I want to be more specific than that, except to say that when it comes down to fundamentals and all the little different nuances of our game, we got to nail them down even better, and we have to be a little bit more proactive, attempting to stop things in regards to what other teams may do to us. So I guess if I had my thoughts or ideas for our staff this camp, it's to stay ahead of ourselves. And we've already got that thing rolling. We've already talked about some things this morning, because I really think you're going to see a real a renaissance in regards to going backwards in time with baseball and the way it's played, and more emphasis put on running games and bunting and execution of different fundamental things. You're not going to just see guys up there trying to slug the 3-run home run on a consistent basis. I think you're going to see a little bit of a turning back the clock with a lot of these things. So it's imperative that we stay ahead of these thoughts, and so that's primarily it. Sean Rodriguez, of course. Listen, man, this guy tore it up here last year. He's a big part of what we do. Man, if you get the chance to talk to him on a more consistent basis, really has a great mind for the game. One of the better, I believe, one of the better second basemen already in the American League, period. But still has that valuableness about him where he can play a lot of different positions. So coming into this camp with the addition of Manny and Johnny towards the end, obviously it presents different looks to us. So we'll wait till we get to this, actually getting it on the field, try all the different things, during the course of spring training and make our determination by the end of camp. But all these guys are going to be viable. All these guys are going to be involved.
Last question.
Andrew, for you, how difficult is it when you look at the Yankees spending the money, the Red Sox spending the money, Baltimore going into it, and the entire division, and to kind of keep that, knowing what the division is it getting more and more difficult each year despite winning the championships, and even talking with the fans, maybe the players, and convincing them that this is the right way?
Well, it's something for us that, we relish in the challenge. In our opinion, there's no more challenging division in all of professional sports in the American League East. And, I think, fortunately, we've had some success in the past few years that, confirms a little bit of the way we go about our business. But it's really a survival mechanism. For us, we have to operate the way we do to have a chance to compete in this division. And so, again, it gets back to knowing who you are, and I think that's something that we all do really well. We appreciate who we are, where we are in the landscape of this division, and that we have to get creative and problem solve in different ways. And so I wouldn't say it's necessarily changed in that, we knew in 2006 that this was an incredibly difficult division. If anything, it's probably gotten more difficult in that the other 4 teams are also extremely well run, which makes it even more challenging. But it also makes it that much more rewarding. The success we had in 2008, the success we had in 2010 was incredibly meaningful to all of us because of, over the course of 162 games, to win the American League East. When that banner was raised in 2008, it was at least as meaningful to me personally as the American League Championship banner. And it's an extremely difficult thing to do, and it's something that, inspires all of us.
Thanks, everybody. Tomorrow's schedule is the clubhouse will be closed before the workout. Our pitchers and catchers will be on the field at 10 a.m. Thanks.